So I just finished watching. Actually, a few days ago, I just finished watching Star Wars Visions, and so I just wanted to talk about it. If anybody doesn't know, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows, this is a Star Wars show where different Japanese animation studios basically told stories, Star Wars stories within the Star Wars universe, and animated into their particular style. This is just a shot from episode one. Just pause it on here. But each episode, I think there's four episodes in total that were from the same studio, two from one studio, two from another studio, and the rest of them were completely different animation studios. And you can see that a lot of these episodes, not only do they carry a different animation, but they wildly vary in tone and style. And so there's something most likely for everyone in it. If you're looking for something more like a traditional shonen anime, then I would say episodes probably what number was it? I think it's episode 7 with the Black Padawan where they go fight I think it's before, I want to say it's around the time of Phantom Menace. They go and fight this old guy who's on this planet, and just basically they're drawn to his power. And the reason why I say that is because the Jedi Master, or the Jedi Knight, the Padawan's master, makes a statement about how the Sith have been gone for hundreds of years, blah, 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 blah. And that's what makes me think that it's around Phantom Menace time. I want to get it correct. I believe that was episode 7. Yeah, episode 7, The Elder. That was one of my favorite episodes. I was actually looking forward to it because it had the Black Padawan in it. I thought he was going to die because they made it seem like he had died, and that really upset me. But he ended up pulling through. The fight scene was amazingly choreographed. And I think it had an interesting story. All these episodes are really short too, way shorter than I expected. They're about 10 to 15 minutes. I expected 30-minute episodes, a weekly thing, but I didn't look into it that much before it came out. So maybe it was something they announced that I just missed. But yeah, they're about 10 to 15 minute, just shorts, real short films, and so they have a very basic, simple premise to each one of them, and they're usually dominated by a particular genre in addition to the animation style that the studio presents, and that pretty much carries the show. So there aren't any convoluted or complicated stories or ideas or themes that are presented. It's more so just to show how different art styles can magnify or enhance the Star Wars stories, and I liked it a lot. I'm a fan of anime, so I know there were a lot of people that just didn't want to see Star Wars and anime. I don't know, and hand-drawn animation. I don't know particularly why you'd be turned off by that, but I guess I can understand if maybe people think that anime is taking over Western pop culture and they want to preserve Star Wars' unique visual integrity. But I was excited for it. This first episode caught me off guard with this black and white shading, old Japanese Kurosawa style film grain look to it. Threw me off. I did not expect them to start with something so bold. I would have expected them to start with something more like in episode 8. No, not episode 8. Episode 5, The Ninth Jedi. I would have expected them to start with something like that. But they started off with this, and initially it may be a little jarring to the eye, but it's fine. I think after maybe 2 minutes of looking at it, you're in it. It's a beautiful art style. It's unique, and it matches the tone of the episode, which is pretty much this Ronin. I think they even call him Ronin. And he unleashes a lightsaber like it's a katana blade, and he protects his village from bandits, pretty much. And so, like I said, it's a very simple premise. We've seen that story 1,000 times. It just wanted to show what it's like in a Star Wars story. I thought the little kid who was the elder of the village was really cool. Thought he was a cool character. I liked how they fought back with the mercenary group, which reminded me of that episode of what was it, Clone Wars or Bad Batch? It was Clone Wars. When I'm forgetting what it was. Somebody had hired some Oh wow, I have a bad memory of these things. It was in the Clone Wars, and this town had hired, or maybe it was just a small family, hired these mercenaries to protect them. And then the Jedi, I think Anakin and somebody else, had to help the bounty hunters, or the mercenaries. I can't even remember exactly what it was, so I might as well not even try to explain it. But it reminded me of that. If you know Clone Wars, you know what I'm talking about. It reminded me of that episode. Yeah, so I really like this episode. This is one of my favorite. It was nice. I really like the Sith's weapon. She had like this lightsaber umbrella, and she took it out and then just dueled with it. I thought that was really nice. Really cool touch. And I thought he had a cool droid, and it was just a well done episode. Episode 2, wasn't really into it. It took me a while to kind of just get into the rhythm of the episode because it's not very much my style. This childish, gimmicky kind of animation and the premise just didn't. It's just kind of too childish for me. When I saw Boba Fett tiny, I was like, wait, is this supposed to be like a thing where they're all kids, like one of those type of things, like a Spider-Man and his friends looking type of, which ended up being what more was like. They're not kids per se. They're just tiny with big heads. It's that type of bobblehead animation. It didn't work for me. The twins, pretty cool concept. I liked the way they looked in their suits, the twins. I didn't like the way they looked when they took their suits off, honestly, and that's just a personal thing. I just thought they looked pretty bland when they didn't look menacing or anything when they took their suits off. But it had some pretty cool concepts in there. I don't understand how they survived in space. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but just a few small things put me off. The fighting was interesting enough, and it was okay, it was decent. So that one's just okay to me. Village Bride is one of my favorite, because of the tribal influences in the episode. I love seeing brown people in anything, so if I see brown people, I'm loving it. And this episode had brown people, and it felt very like a very cultured episode. I loved the way the Jedi looked in this. She was very mystique and mysterious and extremely powerful. That's an episode I would definitely come back to and watch again. I really liked that. Again, the choreography and the fighting was great. The Ninth Jedi had a cool little mystery twist thing in there. Wasn't super unpredictable, but it was interesting enough for what they did in 15, 20. How long was this episode? About 20 minutes. Okay, the episodes were a little bit longer. Some of them were 13 minutes, 14 minutes. But that one was 20, and there was an 18 minute and a 20 minute episode. So some of them were longer. I hadn't realized that, but yeah, I thought that was cool. The Jedi that shows up with the other 9 Jedi, or the other 8 Jedi, he was weak. He didn't do anything in the final battle. Even the girl who had never held a lightsaber helped out. He didn't do anything. I don't know what the point of that was, but that one really left off on a, I guess, not necessarily a cliffhanger, but it left more to be explored. Like, her father still captured, and they still had missions and still had work to be done. And I think that was one of the first episodes where it was like, wait a minute, that's it? I mean, the twins didn't end off on a strict note, but the Ninth Jedi, that episode was one of them that really made me like think about, wait, so is there more? They're gonna try to finish? Like, what is going on? They just stopped here? Why did they write it like that? But I guess, there's just a short story, and they wanted to be able to tell the most compelling story possible, and I guess cramming everything into that 20 minutes wouldn't have worked the best. So I understand the choice. Episode 6 was another one. Didn't really work for me. Wasn't as, I don't want to say bad, but it worked a little bit better for me than episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. Toby kind of made me think Kunta Kinte when they named him Toby. It's interesting. That's just me though. I didn't know cybernetic people can be Jedi. I guess it was cool. He inherited his master's well. Episode just didn't really do much for me there. I'm not gonna bash on it. Just didn't do much for me. Elder is probably my favorite episode. That and episode 1, but I think I like episode 7 a little bit more. That one could be a whole. I watched Star Wars Theory talk about this, where if any of them were going to be a full TV show, it'd be episode 7. I agree with that. Episode 7 and episode 5 would most likely be full TV shows. I would say if I had to pick, I really liked episode 7. The fight was great. Both of the characters, the Padawan and the Jedi Knight, they were both well voice acted, thorough enough to feel for them in the moment. It was the typical Padawan ready to fight, ready to prove his worth, and then having to be forced into an encounter, and instead of running away, he wants to show his worth, and then he ends up, getting hurt, and the master has to come save him. We've seen that story so many times in media. So, like I said, there's nothing groundbreaking about the storytelling here. But I saw enough potential that I will definitely watch a whole show. From the little thumbnail, it almost looks like an episode of Legend of Korra, Avatar: Legend of Korra. I don't know if they're animated by the same studio, but me looking at it right now, that almost looks like Legend of Korra right there. I almost want to find out if that is the same studio, but that might take too long for this video. I might just find that out on my own. Episode 8. What was episode 8? Oh, yeah. Episode 8, the little floppy ear alien girl. She looked funny to me. I don't know why, I just can't get behind her character design. But the story was okay. Predictable, of course. The girl turning evil. I kind of didn't like that. I was kind of hoping for something else. Again, it's only 20 minutes, so I'm not going to bash on it too much, but it just felt like too easy to me for her to just disagree with her father about that and then all of a sudden try to kill him. I gotta stop saying. That episode was okay. It wasn't one of my favorites. It wasn't super engaged, and it wasn't a bad story at all. It was actually pretty good. Empire encroaching, and now it's the political thing about, or cultural, socio-cultural thing where it's, do we protect our history or do we move forward technologically? Why do we need to move forward technologically? What's more, whatever. So it's not bad. It was a well-animated episode, and I'm sure a lot of people most likely enjoyed this episode. It seemed like one of those episodes that would grip a lot of people. I just didn't personally. I didn't like it all that much, but it wasn't bad by any means. It was still a good episode. I think a lot of it had to do with the main character. I just didn't like the way she looked. I don't know. It's just me. She just looked funny. And then the last episode. Ooh, I liked the last episode. Yeah, I liked the last episode when the princess, her dad got killed, and she's trying to make her way back with this old friend. I really liked it. That one reminded me of Mulan. I don't know why. Everything's just reminding me of weird stuff. That one was really. I think it was because of the little sidekick characters that were guiding her and had the connections. Reminded me of, I forget their names, but the dude from Mulan, the fat guy, the skinny guy, reminded me of them. I thought the main Jedi character, I don't remember anybody's name, was written well. I thought the fight was really cool. Him accidentally killing her. You know what I really liked about this episode? There's one thing I always had a problem with when it came to Anakin Skywalker, was that Palpatine was like, Palpatine was like, I'll stop her from dying, with the dark side. The same thing won't happen to her like happened to your mother. And I get that. Anakin's like, oh, bet the Jedi didn't do anything. Like, if you can really help me with this, yeah, for sure I'll be loyal to you. Absolutely, I get that. But he just never did it, and so I'm like, Anakin, why are you still? Nah, I know Star Wars people are probably gonna be like, oh, well, this and this and this and that. Cool, whatever. I'm not like pressed about it. That was always one thing that I was like, man, Anakin, you should have made up proof or something. This one was like, what if Palpatine actually showed proof? So she gave him. She was like, hey, you just killed her, but join me. We can bring her back. He was like, okay. Then he brought her back, and he was like, oh, you did what you said you was gonna do. All right, bet. We gonna, we gonna make this happen. You helped me bring her back to life. Now let's do this. And she was safe. It's not like they were like, yeah, we brought her back to life. Now we're about to put her in chains. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. I thought her being a woman, a big buff woman at the end, the final boss villain. I thought that was cool. I thought she looked cool. She reminded me of like a ninth sister or seventh sister. What are they called? Well, it could be she reminded me of the one from Jedi Fallen Order, except she was human on this episode. So that one was pretty good. I like that. That would probably be my other favorite. So 1, 7, and 9 are probably my favorite. Oh, 5 is up there too. 5 is probably 5 is pretty good too. I'll say 1, 5. Oh, I forgot about 4. 1, 4. Now I really liked 4, but I say 1. 1, 7, and 9 are my favorite, and then the next tier is 4 and 5. That's just off one watch. It might change if I were to watch it again. Something. But I'm pretty sure 7 would stay up there. 7 is probably my number one for sure. Everything else is kind of interchangeable. But those are like my favorites, which is like a lot of them. But yeah, so that's what I thought of Star Wars Visions. I thought it was really good, really interesting, and I hope they end up turning some of these into full-length shows or just give us some more stories in these universes that can be fleshed out. Because I thought they did a really good job. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it. So thank you for watching.